Many parts of the country are in desperate need of rain. And the driest spring since 1956 is also having an impact on the UK's water supply.
Well, this morning, water companies are warning that reservoir levels are lower than expected at this time of year. So Jane has been looking at the impact and how we can all save water.
Water. Always on hand, but not in endless supply.
Certainly not right now.
England has just had the driest spring since 1956. Rainfall for England in April was half of the long-term average, and that has led some water companies to send out an appeal.
We need to turn the taps off.
On average, each one of us uses around 140 of these every single day. 1 minute less in the shower will save 12 litres a day.
One fewer load of washing saves about 40 litres.
Fixing a leaky loo or a dripping tap could save up to 400 litres a day. Reservoir levels aren't this low yet, but they are lower, about a fifth lower than this time last year in the northwest.
But what about the water companies? What are they doing to save water?
A fifth of water supplies are lost by water companies before even reaching customers' taps. Not good enough according to the Environment Agency, which has called for urgent action to stop the leak. Hosepipe bans aren't planned yet, but the regulator has warned this could become a reality later in the year.
Jane McCubbin reporting there. Well, Tim is at Canada Reservoir in Suffolk for us this morning, and we can join him now live. Tim, how are things looking there? What about the levels? Morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. Like so many mornings, it is beautiful and sunny here. As you can see, we're on the Elverden estate, Elverden Farm, the Canada Reservoir. And take a look at this. Now, normally, the water level would be where number 7 is on these markers here. As you can see, it's actually number 5 metres. So way down, I'm told, on what it would normally be for this time of year. And farmers here say they are noticing a difference. Have a quick chat to Andrew. You're the managing director of Elverden Farm. Well, what impact is it having on you?
Well, certainly we're utilising a whole lot more water this year than we have done certainly for the last 2 years, irrigating our crops of potatoes and onions and sometimes our cereals. And indeed, we're having to water to plant our carrots at the moment.
How unusual is it for it to be this dry at this time of year?
It's not necessarily a sort of a 1 in 100 years. You know, we see this occasionally every 5 or 6 years in this part of the world. Very dry, we're used to it. But I think what has happened this year, we only had 5 millimetres of rain in March and 15 in April, so probably 20% of our rainfall over those 2 months, which has meant that we've had to put the water on manually. We've had to apply it through our irrigators, which has come at quite an expense.
What impact is it having on your crops?
The crops of potatoes and onions at the moment, they're just starting to develop, so it's minimal impact. But the crops of winter cereals, so our winter barley and our winter wheat, are starting to show signs of stress now. For all we've given them sort of 50 mil of water already. We're having to divert our resource now. Crops of spring barley that went in January are now starting to show the impact of the dry weather.
So if things don't change weather-wise, how will people notice this in the shops, if at all, or in the supermarket?
I think the supply chain is so refined, the farms have got so much infrastructure in place now that it should have a very minimal impact on what we'll be able to supply. And remember, you know, we gather supplies of all of those crops from right across this country and indeed right across the world. So I would suggest it's going to have minimal impact on the market.
Okay. Andrew, thanks so much. Just join us. Holly, please do. Holly, you're a shepherd, aren't you? You work on a local farm nearby. What impact is it having on your animals, this lack of water?
Predominantly the grazing. This early on in the season, we would like to see a little bit more grass than what there is at the moment. And if the weather doesn't sort of pick up and we get a little bit of rain soon, things could start to look a lot worse than what they are now. Our ewes are coping, but we're having to supplementary feed, which we wouldn't normally do at this time of the year, mainly to help them continue growing their lambs, really.
I mean, a lot of people like a sunny day, don't they? But I guess for you, you really want some rain to come quite soon if possible.
Yes, we do, yeah, just to help everything. I mean, everything looks better with a little bit of rain at this time of year. But yeah, just to help the grass keep growing. I mean, say, this area in particular is a dry area, but not this early on. It's going to have a knock-on effect for a lot of things, a lot of hay, a lot of silage. There won't be a lot made. You know, it's going to have a massive knock-on effect throughout the rest of the year.
Ollie, thanks ever so much indeed. Andrew, thank you as well. Yeah, so it would seem that rain would certainly be very welcome by many people here, farmers, as you were hearing just now. One of the things is, though, it is such a lovely experience to stand here on a sunny morning like this. But yeah, the reservoir levels here in Suffolk way down on where they would typically be at this time of year, and the impact on crops already starting to be seen by farmers such as Andrew.
Tim, thank you very much indeed.